Welcome back. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau visited President-elect Trump with his incoming White House team at Mar-a-Lago, there to share concerns on a proposed 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexico goods. This is just one day after President Biden had this to say about the issue.
Any thoughts on the tariffs in Canada and Mexico that the president-elect is talking about?
I hope he rethinks it. I think it's a counterproductive thing to do. We have an unusual situation in America. We're surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and two allies, Mexico and Canada. And the last thing we need to do is begin to screw up those relationships. I think we've got them in a good place.
Here to react, co-founder of the Committee to Unleash Prosperity, Stephen Moore. Stephen, good morning. Thanks for joining us. When we watch that clip, we see President Biden urging President-elect Trump not to do this. What is the political motivation of President Biden, not just weighing in on this, but weighing in that direction?
Well, I don't know what Joe Biden's motivation is, but I know what Donald Trump's motivation is. And I think it's really important for people to understand what's going on here. One of the leading killers of young people in America today is fentanyl and illegal drugs coming into this country. And it is tragic. It's almost like our enemies. By the way, don't forget that China is part of this too, a major player here, and they are importing this poison into our country that is lethal. That is heartbreaking. What's happening to our young people. So Donald Trump is the first president who's actually taking action here, and he's simply saying to China, to Canada, and Mexico, if you're a friend of the United States, if you're a friendly country, stop importing this lethal drug into our country. And I do believe, by the way, I'm a free trade guy. I don't like tariffs as a general matter, but I've seen it work in his first term firsthand, where Trump uses the threat of tariffs to force countries to do things that are America's interest. And I think we all agree keeping fentanyl out of this country is in America's national interest.
Yeah, when you see Justin Trudeau go down to Mar-a-Lago to have dinner with President Trump, and there's pictures of him smiling. If you look back, Trudeau he's stymied immigration in his own country. We have had terror watch lists caught at the Canadian border, so it isn't like this is a non-issue. It isn't like Canada is exempt from the border problem. What do you think the outcome is here? Do you see anything signaling that we're going to get something out of Canada in lieu of not imposing these tariffs?
Well, listen, I think the outcome is going to be positive for the United States and for Canada and Mexico. I mean, we all should join together. The whole Reagan vision was that North America would be a large free trade zone. Well, part of free trade cannot be allowing these chemicals and these drugs into our country. I mean, it's so obvious. So I think that what's going to happen, because look, Canada and Mexico have to trade with the United States. We do have leverage over them. And I think in the end of the day, they will cooperate. We will reduce the amount of these illegal drugs into the country, and every one of us will be better off. So I'm positive about this. I think it's going to be very favorable to the United States, and we're going to reduce this scourge of drug overdoses in our country.
Yeah, I think we can't ignore the fact that the economy was a top two issue in the election, if not the top issue for a lot of people. I want to read this New York Post headline to you. It says, Trump voters poised to spend big for the holidays, but Harris backers are cutting back. I'll back this up with a graphic here that shows a 50.4% uptick in spending in red states with an 11.2% drop in blue states. So is this just a mood thing? Are Trump voters they're happier, so they're in the Christmas spirit? Or is this really a result of people believing, hey, the economy is going to be better if they voted for Trump?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, look, we are two countries right now. We're red state and blue state. And, you're there in New York, and New York's a pretty blue state. And so you've got a lot of somber Democrats. But I got to tell you, look, everywhere I go, and I travel a lot, I just see a new bounce in the step of people. You're just walking down the street. People are in a better mood. They're confident. But this isn't just impressionistic. The statistics show very clearly consumer confidence took its biggest jump in November practically ever in history. You see this with small business confidence. You see it with people going to the malls. I mean, my God, have you been to the malls this weekend? They're completely packed with people. And one last point about this. Even some of my Democratic friends who didn't like Trump very much, they want to give him a chance here. They see him as maybe a guy who can end the scourge of inflation, who can get this economy moving again, bring blue-collar jobs back to America. So it's not just Republicans. By the way, Trump has the highest favorability rating today than he's ever had in history. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think if you go back to 2016, there was a Trump effect before he took office, where the economy started to get better because the belief was there. This is the first indication of that, I guess. Stephen Moore, thanks for joining us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.